What's going on, guys? It's Duran here from Sunrise Gaming, coming at you with another video. This one is more of Overwatch news and some things that have been happening this week. We're going to be covering the big hubbub or whatever about the comic that was released and the speculation of the future of Overwatch. So I am joined today by Lax, and we're going to break it down. How you doing, Lax?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm excited.
Me too. All right. So let's first and foremost, have you read the comic? Have you looked
Oh
through it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Just give me your
I think it's
thoughts
cool.
on what do you think. What do you think
First
about
of all, Tracer getting her catchphrase from Torb is just effing amazing, I will say.
it?
I think that's awesome. That's just me. Um, I think it kind of shows. I think it's at that tipping point where, I mean, Soldier said it himself. They had just gotten bad public relations, or that was starting to go downhill for Overwatch because of whatever event in what was it, India or Egypt?
In Egypt, yeah, there was
Yeah.
disaster in
Um,
Egypt.
yeah. And the way Reaper reacts, you can start to see that this is, I think, the time frame where those two characters really started to split. And when Overwatch, I think this is the time frame where we're just starting to see the downfall of Overwatch
Right, you see
in
that,
the public eye.
right, yeah, not internally. You see that, McCree is already boots on the ground in King's Row,
Yeah.
and, he's an agent of Blackwatch, and Blackwatch isn't supposed to be there, and all this sort of stuff, so it was really interesting to see that. I really liked the introductions of Genji into Overwatch with
Oh,
Tracer and whatnot.
yeah.
But first,
That was cool.
the comic, to sum it up real quick, the comic takes place 7 years prior to today in Overwatch lore. Mondada has been held hostage. This was before Widowmaker killed him. By the Null Sector Omnics, which are the Omnics that live underneath King's Row. And he and a bunch of others are being, held hostage, and Overwatch is not being allowed to go in because of some public relations issues with the British government. So it's really interesting because it kind of relates to like modern times and like how your publicity sometimes is more important than lives. So, of course,
Right.
we know that Strike Commander Morrison is gonna go in there guns blazing and
Of
get
course.
Mandata out. So that leads us into our next thing. Overwatch PvE. As we know, Overwatch was originally supposed to be an MMO under the codename Project Titan. However, that was scrapped and it was into what the beautiful game we love today. But I think this is the opportunity that Blizzard has been looking at to bring in PvE into this game. Lax, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea because we saw a lot of positive feedback from the Halloween events and the Olympic events, even though Olympic was PvP. But I didn't play in those, but from what I've read and from what I've heard, everything was really good and everybody enjoyed it. So I think people want to see a more permanent solution to have PvE, other than like going in and just playing against bots, but that's really boring. So for those gamers that are really invested in lore, some gamers don't care about the lore; they just care about the mechanics, and then some really do care about the lore. And here at Sunrise, we definitely enjoy the lore. So I think for us and for other gamers alike, it's actually going to be
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So, there was some other hints at different things. We saw a first look at Genji's armor before what it looks like today,
yeah.
where he is still showing some of his natural body. Please, Blizzard, for the love of God, let that be
Let us
skin.
let us have that skin,
That skin looks
please.
awesome. It's like rough, but you can already tell how it's all coming together. And then Tracer in her first skin before she was Tracer, she
Yeah.
was Lena Oxton, and that was really cool to see her in that. And of course, everybody's favorite Swedish man, Torbjorn. Clearly
Yes.
not giving a damn about what anybody thinks and just loading up stuff and doing his thing. So, all in all, I'm really leaning forward to hoping, got to keep our hopes up around here, that Blizzard delivers on this and we start seeing like, was it Destiny has they're like strike missions where you go in with like
Yeah.
a small squad and like take on like the AI and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I really think this is the way Blizzard is gonna go.
Right.
This is gonna be beneficial to everybody. It's gonna be a win-win. Maybe you do enough strike missions a week, you get extra loot boxes.
Yeah, definitely.
things like that. From the Omnic, Omnic comic. From the
The
comic.
Omnicomic?
Yeah, it's the Omnic, man. Um, I think that the first strike mission is going to be us going in to save Mondada, because we know he's not
Rescuing
going to be
Mondada,
killed.
yeah.
He's not going to be killed. We know that Widowmaker kills him because that happens in the Alive cinematic.
Yeah.
So we know he's not going to die from
He has to
whatever
be rescued
happens.
yeah.
Right. So I think it's who loads up in that ship. It's Torbjorn.
Torbjorn, Reinhardt, Mercy, Tracer, and I think that's it. I don't know if Soldier actually joined them or if Anna did. They might have. I don't know.
Well, McCree's already boots on the ground.
McCree's already there. That's true.
He could join them as well. So there's 5 right there. So that would be interesting to be starting off. You got your tank, you got a couple DPS, and you got a healer. So I mean, look at that. That's a World of Warcraft 5-man dungeon right there.
Go.
I mean,
Oh man, Blizzard.
Blizzard
they're reselling us the same old stuff, man. Conspiracies.
Conspiracies. Oh, let all the conspiracies go crazy in the comments and whatnot.
Well, okay, but question though.
Yeah.
Do you think, are we going to only have those to pick from, or can we pick from any of the characters?
I have a feeling that they're going to do this like they did Junkenstein's Revenge. I know you didn't play, but you could only be 4 heroes. You could only be Soldier, McCree, Anna, and Hanzo. It was just the 4 of them. I think they're going to balance each strike mission around a certain team of characters.
Yeah.
And then you just change as you go.
Right.
So one mission would have these guys, and then the next mission is all defensive heroes or something like that.
Right.
So it's something to think about. This has been huge in news today and all this week about, Blizzard's been teasing at this, and Big Daddy Jeff is, coming out there saying things like, well, first he mentioned that, character 25 is really far along, and you guys are going to love the comic, and the comic's going to make you go wild, and it's already making me go wild, so.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Big Daddy Jeff, looking out for all of us here. So your final thoughts. I know before we started making this video, we discussed this a little bit, and I know in this video you're saying that this is going to be PvE, but you did have some hesitation before we started. Can you elaborate on what we talked about before?
Right. So the whole thing with Overwatch, as we can, that it is a PvP game. It is centered around that, right? So the only reason I'm hesitant is because I don't think Blizzard's goal with this is to merge into the PvE market. However, that doesn't mean there won't be PvE elements. So obviously you can play against bots right now, but that's bots. But making an entire new game mode with a PvE system is, I think, totally plausible. I'm just not sure how in depth it's gonna get, and I'm not sure how detailed it's gonna be. So I don't think there's gonna be there wouldn't be. I don't think there's gonna be more than 5 missions. I don't think, and if they do with a mission setup type thing.
Do you think
and I don't
over
think
time they would just add more stuff?
Maybe, but there's only a limited amount of lore, because it's all happened. Now you could also bridge into whatchamacallit, a future thing, as the story progresses, you get to play the different scenarios that happen in the future or are currently happening, and that's cool too. I just don't see them devoting a lot of time to it when there are other things to look at, like other characters, and making sure everything's still balanced and focusing on how the matchmaking system works, because everybody has complaints about that. So all I'm saying is that they're PvP focused, and that they will do something with PvE, I think, with this event. I think that would make the most sense. But I don't think it's going to be, obviously it's not going to be like a World of Warcraft dungeon. They're just not going to put that much time and effort into it. Maybe, but I don't think so.
And you don't think that market is lucrative enough, is what you're saying?
No, not for Overwatch players. If this was at the very beginning, they released, look, you can play through this fascinating story of Overwatch, just a new world to dive deep in if you're tired of Azeroth and whatnot. And they say, but there's also a PvP section, if you want to take your skills to the next level, just like World of Warcraft. If they went without it, it'd be fine. Obviously, that'd be a lot of resources, and we might not have the game as it currently stands.
Wouldn't have 20 million players either.
Yeah. But I do think it's possible to have PvE and PvP, which is totally fine. I just don't think it's going to be as in-depth as people might be thinking or theory crafting for.
Right. Oh,
that's all.
That's good food for thought. This is in first and foremost a PvP game. So
yeah.
But this would be a nice addition on the side. So
I mean, if they go with that, I'm going to be playing it a lot. It looks like a lot of fun.
So
hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, that'll sum up for our speculation slash Overwatch news video. You can find all our social media down below. We do stream on the weekends now. We have changing up our streaming schedule. You can find us on weekends at Sunrise Gaming. All that stuff is linked below. And that'll do it for us today. So we'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.